Could we have a new storm forming in the Western Pacific, specifically the Philippine Sea, by the 23rd, Sunday, to Monday the 24th? Now, if we look at just the ECMWF, the GFS right here, and the icon, they're all at least showing a low pressure area at this time, as well as the Google DeepMind here on the 24th, looking more and more likely a consensus there in the Philippine Sea. And if we look at the long range ensembles, even with the GFS, still have this kind of cluster out here by the 23rd into the 24th with a low pressure area. Now, with all of that said, no agencies are showing even a LPA at this time. We still would be looking, 6-7 days out. So, of course, there's a range of uncertainty here. And if we look at the satellite picture, there's not really any origination as far as a low pressure area. Anything out here, I mean, you just don't see where the model would be picking up on something trying to develop at this time outside of a few clustered areas here, part of the intertropical convergence zone. So at this point, I'm not going to say there's a storm developing, but it definitely raises a few eyebrows when you have multiple models showing at least a low pressure area that would increase rainfall. So just deep breaths at this time. I think the number one thing and number one feature to look at this point is actually this. Look at this just big line separating the winter towards the north, our cool northeast monsoon, summer down towards the south with a subtropical ridge in the easterly south of that. And then you're talking about right here is our shear line, a classic shear line. In fact, you can look right there in the southern periphery of it. Look at that across northern areas of Luzon, and look at this line of just thunderstorms stretching off towards the north and east. That is the shear line that we often talk about this time of year. So you could get hung up, and we could talk all day until we're blue in the face about those long range models. I think as far as right now, they're long range. We're going to keep an eye on it. But if you're talking about more short term and near term type forecasts, really is the shear line for northern areas of Luzon, stretching all the way back towards Vietnam, as we see this cold front just continue to dominate, and that interaction really sparking off that line of showers there. In northern areas of Cagayan, you actually could be looking at some pretty decent rainfall with this, gusty northerly winds, and a pretty significant temperature drop. Yeah, temperatures dropping across northern areas of the Philippines, and especially over towards Taiwan into Okinawa. So yeah, of course, we're going to keep an eye on this area out here for any potential tropical development. I wouldn't discount it just yet. At least we'll see by the time we get the Friday over towards Saturday, maybe some increase in showers across parts of Guam. But for the time being, the heavier precipit's going to be here towards the north, and we'll keep an eye on any potential tropical cyclone development. You can even see here with the ECMWF, this is for Sunday, kind of showing a little bit of a broad low trying to form up in that area. So for the time being, that's the big topic. We're going to watch that northeast monsoon here, and also still seeing some heavy rainfall across areas of central and southern Vietnam due to that interaction with the northeast monsoon and those tropical winds. We've been talking about this for a few days. And look at the broader picture. Look at the waves. And the clear cold surge representation is when you get these big waves moving in from the north, just clearly indicating swells. This is like every sailor hates this, because I've been out there in cold surge waves just south of Okinawa. They are not pleasant. It is a just rough, bumpy, unpleasant ride. So sailors hate it. Surfers, if you can get over the wind, maybe you can get some nicer weather. But that northeast monsoon showers, though, still taking place across parts of the Cagayan Valley, although the west coast is staying relatively dry. So, of course, I'm going to keep you guys posted out here. Big shout out to our Patreon members. I just updated this graphic. We got some new members here, and just wanted to give you guys a nice little shout out, because you are the reason why I'm able to still do this on a daily basis. So big shout out. Now, this is everybody who has come and gone on our Super Typhoon members. So not everybody here is active, but I'm going to keep your names on here just because you've donated. You made the effort, and I truly appreciate it. Thanks to our Typhoon members here, like Bruce, Steve, JP, Philip, Abe, Douglas, Steve, Chad, Rob, Nathan. Thank you guys so much. That's just a small number. I'll read more off every day. So, as always, though, if you guys have any questions, I know you probably will have questions for, legit reasons, because, I'm talking about the potential of a tropical cyclone. But for now, I can't stress enough, it's a lot of dry air out there. I find it interesting that several of the models are showing something 5 to 6 days out. You can see that right here with the Google DeepMind. But I also I want you all see, like, this is interesting that that particular model showing something right there like that. But I want you to just understand that this is still a long range model, and we got to keep an eye out. But this, at the very least, you know, like, Versailles does not need the rain. Okay, we'll just say that they do not need the rain here. The last thing we want is more precip in an area that is still devastated. So yeah, continue to check back in, but no that information from official sources. For example, Bugatti has not even murmured anything about this. So I'm addressing it because I do have actually some people. I don't like sharing my inbox messages because they're private messages and I don't want to call anybody out. But I do get a lot of these messages from people that are just like super worried, and they look at these models. A lot of people do, I get it, and they see that, like the GFS there I showed you a minute ago, and they go, oh my God, hold on. But and I appreciate you reaching out to me instead of just panicking, and I have to kind of address it. So right now, I wouldn't run to the hills, but I definitely have an eyebrow raised at it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. And I hope these updates do help you out. So as always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you do stay safe out there. Okay, friends?